Most people think their biggest problem is stress. That's not it. The biggest problem is often believing in every thought that your mind throws at you. You get annoyed by text messages, someone cuts you off in traffic, a mistake happens in work, something uncomfortable happens in relationships. And before you even realize it, your heart rate increases, your mind starts creating stories, and your entire mood changes. The strange part is that the event itself usually isn't what causes the suffering. It's the reaction that follows. And there are 4 simple skills that can interrupt that cycle before it takes over your day. The first area is how self-regulation is freedom. Most people try to control the world around them. Self-regulation teaches you control is what happens inside of you. You can't stop problems, but you can become less reactive to them. The first technique is breath work, being able to redirect all your attention to the present moment. When anxiety rises, attention narrows, the mind starts living in the future. The breath is always happening right now. The goal isn't magical breathing. The goal is attention redirection. The most common examples of breathing techniques are box breathing, 4-6 breathing, and slow nasal breathing. The one I personally recommend and suggest is what I identify as prolonged inhaling and exhaling. What that looks like is consistently breathing in for 10 seconds and exhaling for 10 seconds. We want to imagine we're breathing through a straw, so we can do that full 10 seconds. And what happens is, because that breathing length is so abnormal, our thoughts don't have the ability to interrupt that pattern, because as we continue to breathe in or breathe out, our brain is like, oh, I can't think about anything else because I'm still have to continue to inhale, or I still have to continue to exhale. So before you know it, all these intrusive thoughts start to fade away the longer you engage in breathing in and breathing out. I also suggest having a timer, which can also be helpful. And before you know it, a lot of the intrusive thoughts will lose their grip, and you'll be forced into the present moment through shifting all of your attention to maintaining a consistent breathing cadence. Your breath gives your mind somewhere healthier to focus. The second technique is progressive muscle relaxation. Many people don't realize they're carrying around stress physically. Jaw clenched, shoulders tight, forehead tense, hands tight. The body often knows you're stressed before the conscious mind does. And progressive muscle relaxation teaches tension, awareness, and release. So if we start at the top, start with the muscles in our forehead, go down to the muscles in our nose, go down to the muscles in our jaw, and activate that tension and allow the tension to be released by having your face turn towards normal position. Then we progress down to our neck, tilted to the right, tilted to the left, gentle circles, go the opposite direction. Then we shift down to our shoulders, bring them up to our ears, feel that tension. Do some arm circles, go backwards as well. Then we shift to our arms, putting them out in front of us. Fists squeezing biceps, forearms, twisting, noticing the tension, and opening our palms as we release all the tension. We shift to our torso and engage in another form of deep breathing. I call it ribcage breathing because when we breathe in, we point our chest to the ceiling. We allow our ribcage to expand. As we breathe in, then we collapse. As we breathe out, over-exaggerating those movements allows you to become more in tune with the various muscle groups in your body, recognizing where you hold the most tension and being able to actively release it. We then shift to diaphragm breathing or belly breathing. Essentially, what you do is have one hand on your stomach and inhale, only having your diaphragm expand, just like a balloon is inflating. And then we'll hit a peak where you can't take in any more oxygen to our diaphragm, so we'll hold it, notice that tension, and then we'll gently press on our stomach and flex our abdominal muscles to exhale. And then before you know it, we become more in tune with the pressure we hold in our stomach or diaphragm. Often can be when we're walking around, we're just naturally keeping a tight diaphragm. But if we allow our belly or diaphragm to hang out, that can often produce relaxation and could potentially even lead to easier digestion, bowel movements, because we're not clenching that whole area where our food is processed. Lastly, you move down to our legs, and if you're sitting down, just have your legs elevated off the ground, horizontal with your hips. Then we want to twist our feet inwards and outwards, noticing the tension in our thighs. Then we will put both feet on the ground. We'll keep our toes on the ground and lift our heels off the ground, noticing the tension in our calves and our ankles. Then we do some more twists inwards and outwards, pizza, french fry. After that, we keep our heels on the ground and lift our toes up. Do the same thing, pizza, french fry. Overall, that concludes the whole progressive muscle relaxation. We went from the top of our head, face, torso, legs, feet. Being able to identify where you hold the most tension is going to be key to being able to carry more relaxation and move through life more gracefully. You can't stay relaxed and highly activated at the same time. The next technique is known as grounding. My personal favorite is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When emotions spike, attention becomes trapped inside your thoughts. Grounding pulls attention outwards towards our environment. 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. Depending on your condition, depending on the lights, if you're congested, sometimes these things will not always be fully accessible. But the goal isn't distraction, it's reconnecting with reality. And if you keep on cycling your attention from your sight, your sense of touch, what you hear, what you smell, and what you taste, it will be almost impossible to think about anything else, because your attention and being so immersed in your current environment takes so much energy that intrusive thoughts will have a minimal chance of overwhelming us or becoming too abundant. Overall, these goals are for you to find which one is most effective for you. All of them can be, or none of them can be, but I feel like there's a low percent of chance that at least one of these won't be beneficial and effective for you. Thoughts live in your head. Grounding reconnects you with what's actually happening around you. The last technique is mindfulness. And this is where most people get mindfulness wrong. Mindfulness isn't clearing your mind, it's observing your mind. A thought appears, you notice it, you don't fight it, you don't feed it, you don't become it, you simply observe it. A thought is an event, not a command. Therefore, if we're able to recognize our thoughts, observe them, not identify with them, because once we do, I'm a bad person, we believe it, it sinks into an emotion, and that's often discomforting, resulting in us wanting to escape or run away from that discomfort. If we judge it, I'm a bad person, oh, that was a bad thought, so on and so forth. That can lead to more discomfort, mental fatigue, because then we're wrestling, I'm a bad person because all this evidence shows up, and then our other side of our brain is like, no, you're not a bad person because you did this and this. So then before you know it, you're fighting it. That can be mentally exhausting as well. And then feeding it, being able to recognize the more we ponder something, the more we give energy to it, and our mind's going to keep that cycle, that rumination going, ultimately taking away our energy, creating more self-doubt, more self-criticism. So if we can just have the thought stay one thought, one sentence, oh, that's an interesting thought, but then not try to think about the next thing or catch yourself from spiraling, ruminating, or feeding that thought. It can just stay as a thought. Before you know it, we're going to have another thought and another one. But then we start detaching and gaining distance from identifying with them, feeding them, and judging them, often leading to more peace. Overall, if we notice our reactions, our thoughts becoming too overwhelming, we can shift our attention to our breath, our body, our environment, then circle back to observing the mind. When overwhelmed, return to the breath, relax the body, ground in the environment, and observe the mind. Instead of trigger reaction, we create trigger awareness choice. And that's where freedom starts. Most people spend their lives trying to control everything around them. But peace usually arrives when you become better at regulating what's happening within you. Your thoughts will continue to appear. Your stress will continue to appear. Problems will continue to appear. The question is whether you're going to automatically react to them or learn the skill of responding instead. Because freedom isn't the absence of problems, it's the ability to choose your response when they arrive. If something resonated with you, consider leaving a comment below and sharing what felt most impactful. To support the channel, you can like, subscribe, and/or share this video with someone who you feel might also benefit. Additional ways to support the channel can be found in the links in the description below. You will also find a link to my website, cravingfreedom.com, where you can access my ebooks. On the website, you can also find descriptions of what to expect from the ebooks. And if you feel ready to commit to your path towards freedom and are seeking in-depth guidance and support, consider applying for one-on-one coaching. Answers to frequently asked questions can also be found on the website. Thank you for your time.